So this is a clip that was sent to me by Kevin Stone, who was at the Dunhill Championship at Leopard Creek last week. This is Ernie practicing with his irons. And a couple of things that are worth noticing. Obviously, Ernie, you can always learn from that lovely rhythm that he's got. You'll also see that he's got excellent driving range technique. You can see the angle of his divots, making life easy for the greenkeeper. But he's also got this stick planted into the ground, and although it's not obvious from this angle, it's a similar angle to the club, the angle of his shaft or his club. And that's to help him to keep the club on plane and to help him take the club away from the ball in the correct way, where he doesn't take the club too far inside the line. So you'll see, taking the club back, the club head stays outside of his hands, in other words on this side of his hands, and also doesn't clip that shaft on the ground. One of the things that you'll also notice is the angle of his club face as he takes the club away, and here you can see the club face is at this kind of an angle, which is very, very similar to the angle of his spine. I see a lot of good golfers trying on the takeaway to fan the club face open. Really, that's not what we're looking for at all. The angles are not like that. If you were standing vertically, you might see that club face fan open, but not when you're tilted at an angle like that. So just be careful of that. One of the other things you notice when he brings the club down through impact is on this shot, you'll see where his club face, where his shaft finishes, and where his club head is pointing is over here. So this is a holding off shot. This is Ernie, I'd imagine, hitting fades and holding the club face open through impact, which gets that little bit of a different finish position than what he might do if you look at one of his swings from a few years ago with his driver. You'll see with the driver where he's trying to release the club, you see the club shaft comes much more through his shoulder, much more on plane, and the club face pointing down. So often when you're watching golfers on TV, you've got to make sure that you know what shape that they're trying to hit when you emulate or try and learn from the swings that they're making. So a couple of points that say to reinforce. One, it's nice that idea of practicing with the stick on the ground helps you to get your angles and your takeaway correct. Two, make sure you're not trying to fan the club face open. Okay. And three, if he's trying to hit it, just that little holding the club face square through impact is getting that little soft fade, which apparently last week at those hard and firm greens at Leopard Creek was essential. If you need help with your game, please give us a shout.